What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we are going to take a look at Robocop 3 from Hot Toys, and you can purchase this figure or maybe pre-order it at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. I know it's been sold out pretty much everywhere. This figure is hot, at least right now. You know, this is the second or third time Hot Toys have done Robocop. So the first one is a long time ago. There's two versions, one with chair, one doesn't, and then they came out with the battle damage version. So I guess you can call that fourth. This is the fifth time. Technically it's third, because the other two SKUs are the one with the dual pack, and the other one is the one with chair and the one with no chair. Let's start with unboxing this. So this is smaller one than the chair. I did have the chair version back in the day, and then I traded it for DX15. Is that the yeah, I think it's DX15, which is Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why I did that. I think I just at that time I thought my display is getting crowded. I don't really need the one with the chair. Let's just say I regretted it for a while, and then this came out, and not anymore. You can see the hands. You got the data spike hand. You got some dual guns again. One is die cast, one is not. We'll dive deep into this into the accessories section. You got some face plates. I like the case that they included in that one. This is the brand new Robocop. I don't know if it's brand new, repainted. It feels the same way. It feels familiar, yet it's new, if that makes sense. Because it's still fresh to me how the older Robocop feels, even though I haven't had him for a good maybe 3-4 years now. You got the instruction manual, and you got the base and the jetpack in here. So let's take a deep dive on the accessories. You got the data spike hand, which he uses. I haven't seen Robocop 3 in a long time, and I have no desire. So I have no idea when he used this in Robocop 3. Robocop 1 is still, fresh in my mind. So you got articulated fingers here, which is cool. Typically you use this for the gun holding hand, which is unfortunate because they should have included a dedicated holding hand for the gun, since the fingers doesn't really hold the gun as well as I wanted it to be. So this is two types of guns, and it won't focus on this camera because they're black. But the shiny one is the die-cast one that normally is just used to be put on the side of his leg. The plastic one is the one that you want him to hold, so there's not a whole lot of weight to it. And as you can see, it's painted, I would say, more precisely, because the die-cast one, it feels like this one tone. There's different shades of black on the plastic one, and this is the different type of faceplate. Again, I do like the plastic housing, so when I keep them, they are fairly secured and won't rub off the paint from each other. And then you got this, I don't know, hand cannon. I don't even know what you call this thing, which is cool. You got the magazine. You got this rocket effect. Kind of reminds me of Boba Fett's or Mando. And then you insert this in his hand. You just take off the peg and the sleeve on his forearm, and it would look pretty awesome. It's nicely detailed. You see the ball peg right there at the end, so you just kind of attach it. Very, very easy to attach. The magazine is removable as well. You can remove that, banana type, and then there's I didn't even notice that there's a it's probably still there, that black protective film. This jetpack looks phenomenal, let me tell you that. You see those wires inside? They're not actual wires, they're just sculpted and painted nicely. So that's a good touch, pretty cool touch right there. There's articulated hands. The pistons here do actually move. I like how it's painted. It's more metallic shine to it. Be careful with these hands though, because once you attach them into the actual figure, there is some pivot points in here, But if you just kind of bend his elbows real quick, there is a right there on that arm, the one that I just held, there is a glue in there that might snap. It's easy to snap back on, you just need a super glue. Just keep that in mind. It is beautifully done. Like it doesn't need to be RoboCop per se. I mean, it is his jetpack. But if you have like a scene, you can use this as a diorama, like just futuristic scene, let's say X-Men or something. It looks like one of those. You can put it on the ground and it looks like there was a fight with a cyborg or something, like if you have cyborg, that's all I'm trying to say here. And you got this stand right here, pretty basic RoboCop. And this is weird because this is the first time I've seen it from Hot Toys, like an angled, stand, which I'm okay with. I know he's flying, but I don't want another flight pole. I just don't. Looking at this now, this is the die-cast armor for RoboCop. Now, there's a lot of controversies in regards to his paint. Me personally, it's okay. I like the paint. Would I want it to be a little bit more purple-ish hue, in some areas? Yes. But I think it's an improvement from the previous version, because if you had the previous version, and I've seen comparisons, that is more super just silver, just plain silver. This one has more hues to it, as evident here. I mean, the light needs to strike it at a right angle for you to appreciate the purple hue, but I can tell you it's there. The other one does not. So they didn't lie. Hot Toys didn't lie. Maybe their lighting is just better than ours. Mine is this bright white that is, flashing in front of you. But in hand, you could see it right away. Maybe not as prominent as the prototype pictures, but they are there. You can see on the back. Clearly, you can see more purple hues in there. Back in the day, you could remove this part via magnet. And then that's where you're going to insert the battery. And he does have a voice function, which if you remove the chest plate, you will see that he does still have that same speaker from back in the day that they used to make him talk. But yeah, that is pretty awesome. But they removed it because you got to reset it all the time. It's kind of like Vader, which is annoying. I don't know why. And I don't know why my camera's not focusing on the silver that's in front of him. But yeah, there's more die cast to this now. The first RoboCop, they said it was like 30% die cast. It's mostly just the legs. This one, the arms are die cast as well. It's more heftier. And then you can see on the back part on his leg, it's connected via ball joint, but there's like foam in there too. I won't remove it because normally I would remove the feet. I'm not gonna risk that at all. But let's talk about the head sculpt. Pretty strong. I love this head sculpt. This is Peter Weller. And I don't mind. I know in RoboCop 3, he is not the RoboCop. But RoboCop 1 is the RoboCop for me. RoboCop 3, I like the fact that they introduced more gadgets like the jetpack and that arm cannon, whatever that is. So you have more accessories, but at the end of the day, for me, RoboCop will always be Peter Weller. So you're not going to hear any complaints from me that this is not screen accurate. Not at all. We're not even going to discuss that. Now, as far as the helmet, you can see on the front end, there's not a whole lot of purple hues, but you go to the back and a little bit on the side, especially on the back part, you see it's shining real nice. On the front, it's more of a just plain silver. Now you can remove this, and he has different face plates. So you kind of want to pull down on the chin guard first. Once you slide out this initial part, here's what I would suggest. If you're going to take it out for the first time, go into bed. No, don't sleep. Because the thing is, if the faceplate goes flying, at least it lands on a soft surface. Because it could, it was pretty sticky out there the first time you remove it. So you want to make sure that it doesn't fall onto the floor. And this one is the teeth version. It's just kind of grinning, right? Not grinning. Maybe he's in pain. This one is just, he's confused. It's like, what is happening? So that's the only downside here is he doesn't have the battle damage helmet that is present on the first one. He does have the battle damage chest plate if you ordered it, the special edition, let's say the sideshow version. But I didn't. I got mine at Big Bad Toy Store, so there you go. It's sold out everywhere. So if I were you, that wouldn't be the deal breaker. If you can get your hands on one, get one. The articulation here is pretty good. It's like an Iron Man figure. You can, it doesn't go flush in, so you always have that black, kind of tube hanging out there. The elbows does have this rubber gasket to it, so you gotta be careful. You can fold his arms like that, but if you leave it over time, I can expect that to deteriorate over time. There's some waist movement articulation here. Again, this is the problem here. You see that it hits one another here. So from the shoulder to the top of his, shoulder, I suppose. So in the legs do kick up as well. You can kind of snap it in, but it doesn't have that Iron Man, hip thingy that he does. He does have, like ratcheted knees, and on the back of his knees, again, that rubber gasket. And be careful with his pistons. Yes, you can have ankle articulation, but I've seen people snap that pistons on the back of his shin, so just be mindful of that when you're moving. Let's put him in some poses, and this is his iconic pose. I don't even know if this is a scene from Robocop. I just pulled it up, this flaming police car. But Robocop himself is like a tank. He doesn't really move all that well. So I'm not expecting a Spider-Man type of articulation with him, even though it is enough. I would say that whatever he gives to you is enough for you to pose him in a decent amount of poses in your display. Here he got that arm. I just wish that his arms would go a little bit more flush, so I don't see that gap. Maybe I'm just not pushing it hard enough, but I highly doubt it. I tried. So it's a little cleaner look. So I'm not a big fan of that gap right there. But yeah, as you can see here, this is just decent lighting. You see the purple hues, you see the reflection on the camera. I do like how this is painted a lot better than the first one. Let's put it that way. Here he is, same backdrop. I can't find any backdrop for Robocop 3. Again, I might rewatch it, but I'm not gonna buy MGM Plus just for that. Here he is again. There's some instructions on how to put him in a flight pose. I'm not gonna do that. It seems like you're gonna angle him, but he's heavy. And with this flight pose, what you could do is get this base instead and switch it up to, let's say, your Spider-Man if you're really not comfortable, if you think he's gonna fall down. But even if you do get the dynamic pole, I don't know where you're gonna put him, especially if he does have the jetpack. So maybe on the hips. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, but I'm happy with him having this pose. I'm not gonna change anything. I'm just at this point, to be quite honest with you, I'm just happy to have another shot at Robocop. He's one of the iconic characters. I was not new to collecting back then, but I was drawn into the group setting of Marvel and Avengers and all that stuff. So it felt like I don't need any one-offs. With that being said, once that faded out, like what we have now, I miss those one-offs. I miss the Robocops, what other things Predators that I've sold before that I wish I could get back, but I'm not going to pay a premium for them. So having him right now in a more improved fashion, I would say, is very satisfying. Do I miss the chair? Now I do. There was a point in time where I felt like the chair was just a hindrance to my collection. It's taking up space. But now I appreciate diorama pieces a lot more than I used to before. So that's another, piece of the puzzle there. I love the character, maybe not the movie, that Robocop 3, but this is Robocop still. So am happy to add him to the collection again. Happy to have an improved version. The paint application, whatever it is that you've heard, it's a lot better than what it used to be. It's an improvement. Whether it met your expectations from the prototype or not, it is an improvement, and it's really good. Thank you for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on this figure. Are you gonna pick it up or not? Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.